If you have ever found yourself in a situation where market is giving you sideways movement and you are confused about whether to buy or sell because the market is moving between a strong resistance zone and a strong support zone, it may just be that market is trying to develop or create a chart pattern. Now, what are these chart patterns? Chart patterns are simply graphical representation of the market movement or price movement. And if you are familiar with these sort of price movements, or if you have done your research, you would find out that it is more easier to see what the market is trying to build up and be ready to position yourself properly, whether to buy or sell. Now, there are chart patterns that show you whether price wants to buy, whether price wants to continue in the old movement. Let's assume that the price was buying. There are chart patterns to show whether price is moving towards continuing that buy movement or changing the movement entirely from a buy movement to a sell movement, or from a sell movement to a buy movement, and vice versa. Basically, there are two types of chart patterns we have. We have the reversal chart patterns and we have the continuation chart patterns. Of course, like the name suggests, reversal chart patterns only show us that price is gearing towards moving or changing its entire direction altogether, while continuation pattern shows us that price is gearing towards continuing the pre-existing market trend, right? So I already made another video about reversal chart patterns. I'll link that up here. You can just go ahead and watch it and then return back to this one. But if you have watched that video, let's just get right into today's video, and I'll see you after the disclaimer. So without wasting time, these chart patterns, continuation chart patterns, simply tell you that price is just giving a little retracement, or price is just taking some time to breathe and then wants to continue in the pre-existing market trend. So if price was buying, these chart patterns show you that price is most likely going to continue buying. If price was selling, these chart patterns give you an indication, right? Of course, nothing is 100% in the forex market. Nothing is 100% when it comes to trading. But these chart patterns, when you see it, especially when you are familiar with them, when you see them, it is easier for you to position yourself and ride along with the market makers or the market movers, right? There are so many continuation chart patterns, but in this video, we're just going to be looking out for the common ones, right? That are easy to spot. They are also easy to trade if you know what you are doing. But in today's video, we're not really talking about how to enter into them, how to find entries. We're simply talking about how to spot them. You should be able to, it's not really about memorizing the chart patterns. You should be able to understand the psychology behind it, right? Which is what we're going to be dealing with in today's video. All right, so there are so many of them. We have the flag patterns, which is the bearish flag. We have bearish flag and we have the bullish flag, right? We have the pennant pattern. You also have the bearish side and the bullish side, right? We also have the ascending triangle. We also have the descending triangle and a lot of that. But to save time, these are the ones we'll just be focusing on in this video. Of course, after this video, you can go ahead and look out for more and also try your hands. Of course, like I always say, it is not enough for you to finish watching a video. Please go ahead and find your way into the chart. Find those things that you just learned into the chart so that it will stick permanently. And whenever you find them on the chart, you'll be able to spot them early enough and use them to your advantage. Okay, so in let's go ahead and start with the bullish flag, right? Just like the flag that you know, just have that at the back of your mind. The flag that you know usually looks like this. If we were to have like a caricature drawing of it, so if you have a flag, of course, if you are holding your flag, this is what it should look like, right? This is what it should look like. Now, this is just how I think I didn't draw this quite well. So the bullish flag pattern is usually coming from a demand zone, right? Price has been buying and it's just giving some form of retracement, right? The buyers and sellers are in the place of consolidation, right? Diagonal consolidation, not actually, you won't find a horizontal support, you wouldn't find a horizontal resistance, you find it in a diagonal form, right? This is just showing you that buyers and sellers are just trying to, we are in the point of consolidation. And of course, this is a bullish flag, right? This is indicating to us that price is most likely to continue. Again, like I said, it is not a 100% guarantee. It's not a 100% guarantee that price will eventually continue buying, but most of the time, if you see a flag pattern on your chart, it is most likely that price wants to continue the buy movement. All right, so you are most likely to see some, maybe when price gets to this point, hold on, when price gets to this point, you would see price come here, shoot up, right? And maybe maybe it may come back, find a zone here, from here find a zone here, to give those who trade break and retest strategy. This is an opportunity for you to find a retest in this resistance zone and pick it up from there, and up we go. Okay, so just the same way this can happen in a bullish market, it can also have, you can also see it in a bearish movement, right? So we see price coming from a supply zone, right? We see this kind of movement, and then price gets to a point and it is almost like it wants to buy for some time, right? It's almost like it wants to buy for some time, and then you come back, you see something like this, boom, price takes off from here, breaks that resistance zone, that support zone rather, breaks that support zone, and then continues the movement, right? And then continues the movement. I didn't draw this well, so we may have something like this, right? We may have something like this, and it's just if you're able to spot this earlier enough, you can just position yourself well. If you are a bit experienced, you can trade this sideways movement, this resistance and support. But if you're not comfortable with it, or you are relatively new to it, I think it's just best that you just wait for the breakout and find a good, of course, when price shows you all the confluences that you need, you can find where any entry from here, when price comes back to this support turned resistance zone, right? And find a very good place to sell from, and then down we go. All right, it's not difficult to spot. Okay, so we also have one that looks almost like it, but if I want you to notice something, in this case of flag patterns, the zone, the resistance and the support zone, is almost like if you draw a trend line across it that touches the obvious zones, you will see that it's almost like a parallel line, right? Two parallel lines that don't meet. Okay, you see a pair of parallel lines. Of course, we know parallel lines don't meet, right? So it's almost like price is just continuing in that movement of resistance support. It's not trying to find, they're not trying to meet anywhere. Okay, but if you have what we call a pennant pattern, so let's say we have, this is a pennant pattern, by the way. So let's say we were in an existing bullish trend. All right, you see price do something like this, almost like this, the flag pattern, but in this case you would see something like this, as if price is trying to meet somewhere. Okay, it's almost like price is supposed to meet somewhere, and all of a sudden you see something like this, and up we go. Okay, so if you draw, of course, if you draw a trend line across it, you see that they are perpendicular lines. Like, it's almost like they are trying to meet somewhere. Okay, it's almost like the support zone and the resistance zone are trying to meet somewhere, right? And then when you see a break here, this is just me trying to show you what it is. This is not how it may look exactly on your chart, but you may find price coming back to this point to give you an opportunity. That's what I said, you may find price coming back to the resistance zone to give you an opportunity to continue buying from there, right? This, my drawing is not perfect, but I hope you just get the point. I hope you get the gist, right? So this is for a bullish movement. I think it's the major difference between a pennant chart pattern and a flag chart pattern, right? In the bullish trend, it's just that this is just a pair of parallel lines and this one is perpendicular line, and I think that is just it. But both of them are trying to show you that price is just gearing up to continue the existing bullish movement. Okay, so also just have it at the back of your mind, most times these patterns, they have their opposite sides. So let's say price is coming from a downward movement, price is in a downward movement, so it's almost like it wants to buy, but the support and the resistance, if you use a trend line to mark it, the support and resistance, it's almost like they want to meet somewhere. All right, it's almost like they want to meet somewhere, and boom, off you go. Okay, so you can see, if you can find this kind of pattern on your charts, like, you know, I always say it's best that you go ahead and look for these things in your chart. This is what the pennant looks like. It almost seems like both lines are trying to meet up somewhere, but they don't, or they may, right? But the thing is, you should just be gearing up. You should just see that price is trying to continue the sell movement, right? It's just sellers and buyers. The controllers of the market, in this case, they are sellers, so it's just like they're just trying to give some form of retracement. They're trying to breathe and gather more momentum to continue the sell movement. Okay, so this is for a pennant pattern. We also have the ascending and the descending triangle, right? So the ascending triangle, let's say price is coming from here, from the buy side, and you all of a sudden you just see price always trying to hit a resistance zone, right? But then when it comes here, it doesn't come back to this existing support zone. Rather, it just finds a way to come back here, right, somewhere almost at the point of the last support, right? It comes back to the same resistance zone, but then when it comes to the buy side, you just find somewhere, right? And then you continue like that, like that, like that, like that. Most at times when you see this, once I spot this in the market, is just, once it looks to me like a triangle that has a very strong support, horizontal support line, right? But then the support horizontal resistance line, once it looks to me like it has a horizontal resistance line but it has a diagonal support, I just use my trend line and I just mark that out. So what I'm anticipating is that price takes out this horizontal resistance, comes back, uses that old resistance, uses it as a support, and then I want to continue the buy movement. So I'll be looking for a buy opportunity. Of course, with my confluences, I'll be looking for a buy opportunity somewhere on this horizontal line, right? So same also, we can have that on the other side, which is a sell movement, right? So let's say price is coming down here, right? Price is coming down here and it is giving a horizontal support, right? It's giving a horizontal support, but then the resistance is almost like, if you draw a line onto it, you would find that it is like a diagonal line. You can draw a diagonal line across all the swing points, but when it comes to the other side, what you will be looking for, what you would see, what you will find is something that seems like a strong like a strong support, okay, a diagonal resistance, and a, so I'm just going to be extending that. Sometimes you may find fake outs. We'll talk about fake outs in another video, but you may find fake outs. You may see sometimes price will just impulsively take out this zone right here and immediately come back and continue trading between that resistance and support zone. Same also, you can also see it over here, right? Price will just break this out. A lot of people will think, a lot of traders will think that price is ready to continue the sell movement. Meanwhile, it is not ready. It will just come take out people quickly, come back into the zone, come back into this range, and then continue to sell and buy just within that range, right? To just continue selling and buy. It can happen not just in a descending triangle. It can happen in an ascending triangle. It can happen in a flag. It can happen in a pennant. It can happen in any other chart pattern that you see. Just be on the lookout for fake outs, right? But the idea is that understand that whoever is, when it comes to continuation patterns, the controllers of the market are just trying to breathe, right? And they want to continue in the movement, right? They want to continue in the movement. That's why you can see that it is easy right here. Take a very good look at this. You can see that it is easy for price to sell. It is in an existing sell movement, so it is easier for price to sell. But when the buyers want to take charge, it is impossible for them to break the existing swing high. All right, it is almost impossible for them to break out from this high, right? It shows you that even though they are trying to battle with the sellers, they are finding it difficult to take control of the market, which is why when you see a sell movement, it is more stronger than the buy movement, right? The sell movement from here to this zone is quite stronger than the buy movement from here to this. So you can see that the buys are not as strong as the sell, right? Even though sellers are always meeting buyers at a support zone, right? They have been unable to break that support zone for some time. But when it has been retested for some time, it is most likely that a time will come, sellers will take charge of the market and finally be able to defeat or take control of the market over the buyers, right? And down we go. Okay, so I wouldn't want to try and buy in this situation, right? I would want to ride along with the sellers, right? I would want to ride along with the sellers. Now, these chart patterns that I have mentioned in this video, they are not the only chart patterns. They are not the only chart patterns, right? There are so many other continuation chart patterns. You can go ahead, you can check on Google, you can find a lot of them. All you have to do is just pay attention to how price moves. Go over to your chart and actually find a way to spot them. If you can backtest them well enough, once they are forming on your charts, as price is moving and forming on your chart, you can just use your trend line or your horizontal line and mark them out and wait for price to actually give you more indication that it wants to continue in that movement and join them, or it wants to reverse entirely and also join. Okay, so let's see if we can find them on the chart. This is GBP JPY on a 4 hours time frame. Now, like I said in the other reversal chart pattern video, you can find these chart patterns on any time frame, on any security, whether you trade crypto, whether you trade stock, whether you trade forex, whether you trade 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, daily, weekly, monthly. You can find them on all markets. You can find them on all markets. You can find them on all time frames. Okay, so right here, without me saying, just look at this. Based on what we just said a couple of minutes ago, just look at this. What is it looking like to you? All right, this is most definitely an ascending triangle, right? You can see it has touched this horizontal. Let me widen that. Let me zoom that out. you can find price always touching that horizontal line, that horizontal resistance, right? And then it is coming down and it is touching the diagonal support. But you can see that the buys are stronger than the sells. The buy are stronger than the sell. The buys are stronger than the sell. That is why it's almost like price is just coming here to hit all of this line. Is just hitting it. And what we are, this is a fake out, by the way. Like I said, you are most likely to find fake outs on all of these chart patterns, so just be careful, pay attention to it. We'll talk about fake outs in another video, but for this video we just want to be able to spot chart patterns, right? So you can see right here, this is an ascending triangle. So I'll be waiting for price to give me a movement like this, right? Break here, come back to this place, retest, and continue. All right, so let's see. I quickly did a markup on my charts. Then this one, when looking at this one, I think it is quite obvious what this is. This is a bearish flag, right? Price was coming from a sell, right? Price was coming from a sell, gave a retracement almost like it wants to buy, right? But that is just sellers resting for some time, and then they continue that sell movement. You can see that price actually came back to give, it broke that diagonal support, right here. It broke it right here. You can see that price broke this support line. You can see that price broke this support line, but then it came to give a retest. So if I were to be on this trade, after marking out my line, it's not just enough to mark out the horizontal lines or the diagonal lines. Once price gives an opportunity, which is a retest here, I'm just going to scale down to the lower time frame, look for my entry zones, and then continue with the sellers, right? There's no need trying to use my account to fight against those who are actually moving the market, right? There's no need using my account to struggle with those who are in control of the market, right? You just ride along with them, right? So like I said, you can find them on different charts. Let's look at this is GJ, this is GBP against Japanese yen. Let's look at GU, if we can find. I think I also did a mark up there. Like I said, you can find them on different time frames, right? You can find them on different time frames. So this is a fake out right here. What does this look like to you, right? What does this look? Price was coming from a bullish market, right? It gave a retracement, and it was just, it created a range, and it was just simply trading between that horizontal support and that horizontal resistance, right? When it finally broke out here, it gave a retest. All right, you can see the difference between this, and this is why price just tried to fake a lot of people out, making them to believe that it is ready to buy. It came here, broke that resistance, came back again to close inside that range, right? So I wouldn't be taking my trade here. So you can see that price came and actually gave a good entry. It broke here, came here, retested that resistance line, and up we go. Okay, so I don't know if I can find more, but the most important thing is you can just look at them, check your chart, you find a lot of them. I don't know if I marked out another one here. Of course, the same charts where you find continuation chart patterns, you can also find resistance chart patterns right there. So like I said, you can find them, these chart patterns, both the reversal and continuation, you can find them on any security that you trade, right? So let's even leave forex and let's see whether we can find them on let's look for BNB. So I'm going into cryptos just to show you that yes, you can actually find them on different charts, right? You can actually find them on different charts. Okay, I think I've even marked out one here. I've marked out one right here. So this is very obvious, right? This one is a very, 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 very obvious one. On the grand, if you look at it in the grand scheme of things, in the higher time frames, let's say we go over to the daily time frame, right? Let's say we are on the daily time frame and we find something like this. It's simply showing me that price right here, what price is doing as at now, right? What I can see is that price has touched this horizontal resistance zone. That's touched about 3 times. This is the 4th time it's touching it. But then when it comes down here, it just continues to touch the diagonal support, right? The diagonal support, which is trending up. Okay, so what I want to be looking for, especially because of the season where we are right now, it is most likely that price will come here, give, maybe move again to this place, and then take off from here. It may come back, find a retest here, may come back. That's what I said. It may come back, find a retest, and it will continue. So chart patterns, you can find them on any charts. It's just important for you to be able to spot them, recognize them, and be patient enough for price to give you a perfect opportunity, because trust me, they are going to be fake out, and you need to be careful so that you don't trade the fake out. Okay, so thank you for staying to the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you can ask any of your questions down in the comment section, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.